Hi, welcome. I'm Reverend Dr. Brent Hawks, the founder and executive director of Rainbow Faith and Freedom, and I was the senior pastor at the Metropolitan Community Church of Toronto for 40 years before I retired. Welcome back. My name is Brent Hawks, and today I want to talk about faith. I want to begin by talking about what is not the opposite of faith. The opposite of faith is not anger. The Bible says to be angry. You can be angry at injustice. You can be angry at the wrongs in our world. Be angry, but sin not. So to be angry is not the opposite of faith. And questioning and wondering is not the opposite of faith. It's a great thing in faith communities to question. Why do we believe this? Why do we believe that? To wonder about whether or not you believe certain things. That's not the opposite of faith. Doubt is not the opposite of faith. Humanness is also not the opposite of faith. So often we're taught that the spirit is good and the flesh is bad, but to be human and to be in our bodies is not the opposite of faith. And other faiths are not the opposite of our own faith. I believe that all of the world's major religions have a bit of the truth, and that there are many paths to God. And Christianity, my faith, is one of those paths. But you know, when you think of a large mountain, at the bottom of the mountain, there are many paths, many ways to get to the top of the mountain. And you may not even be able to see what some of those other paths are. Some of them are going to be steep, and some of them are going to be meandering. Different paths, different ways to get to the top of the mountain. But the only time we have the full view is when the paths come together at the top of the mountain. So we don't need one world religion. There are a variety of different ways to think, to wonder, to worship God. But we need to have a deep respect for those other paths. So if the opposite of faith is not doubt or anger or questioning or humanness or other faiths, what is the opposite of faith? And there are two things that I have read about that really resonate with me. One, the opposite of faith is anxiety. Marcus Borg, in his amazing book, The Heart of Christianity, talks about anxiety being the opposite of faith. He said we should be thinking like, we're out in the ocean and there's this huge storm. And faith is like resting on the ocean and not struggling unnecessarily and panicking. Jesus said, peace be with you. Fear not. And so as people of faith, when we get to those moments of anxiety and deep, deep fear, then we need to reach back to our faith and to realize that God promises to be with us and to give us strength, and that there are wonderful things in all of our faith traditions to help us to get through those times of fear or anxiety. And the second thing that really resonated with me is that the opposite of faith is certainty. That means that we should be very careful when we hear people claiming that they have the truth and the only truth. Fundamentalism, in all of its forms, is the opposite of faith. Whether that's fundamentalist Christianity or fundamentalist Islam or Judaism or Hinduism, all of those claims on certainty are the opposite of faith. The world's religions are based on faith, not certainty. It's a book that was called The Christian Agnostic. And in that book, the author talks about that we can't prove that there is a God or that there isn't a God. All we can do is to give it our best, to try to figure things out. Years ago, I, in the middle of a sermon, blurted out a phrase that wasn't written in my notes, and I said that in our church, we practice best guess theology. I can't prove to you there is a God, but when I look at the beauty of nature and the wonder of the human body, it makes sense to me that there's something behind it all, something beyond what we can see and feel and touch, and I call that something God. So if you ask me, what do I believe in this or that? The most honest response is, well, here's my best guess today. Here's what I think today. And can you imagine how much of a better world it would be if all of the world's leaders of all the world's major religions were sitting around and all of them acknowledging that they're giving it their best guess and respecting the perspectives of other people of faith? So I encourage you, to be a person of faith, to not worry about your doubt or your questioning, but to worry about fundamentalism and to worry about certainty. Thank you. If you found this video helpful, please click on like and share on your social media. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel for future videos. Feel free to post a comment with feedback and suggested topics for future videos. My organization, Rainbow Faith and Freedom, is focused on confronting religious-based discrimination against the LGBTI communities around the world by changing hearts and minds. If you would like to learn more about Rainbow Faith and Freedom or make a donation to this important initiative, please go to the website listed below this video. And if you'd like to support this video project, you can click on a link there too. Thank you.